When I was young, I used to sleep like the dead. But then I gave birth to my son, and shortly after was diagnosed with insomnia. Ever since I had him, I just have never slept the same. My biggest issue was falling asleep, and once I was asleep, I was very restless and wouldn't get the best of sleep. So, the one thing that helped drastically improve my sleep has been altering my morning routine. But first, let me tell you some of the things that didn't work. Medication. I have tried multiple different medications. I've been on, I can't even, trazodone, Rosarum, herbal assistance. I have tried tea. I have tried a warm bath. Those things, the problem with the medication is often it wouldn't help me fall asleep. And it did help me sleep better when I was asleep, but it wasn't helping me fall asleep. And then if I didn't get at least 8 hours of sleep, which oftentimes I didn't have the ability for 8 hours, but if I didn't get those 8 hours, I felt hungover the entire next day. So I couldn't even take it on days that I worked the next day because I would just be dragging ass all day. So I would only ever take it the night before my day off. But then on my day off, I had no energy to do anything because I felt hungover. So medication just really wasn't it for me. I tried so many other things. I tried reading before bed. I tried, like I said, some herbal teas and other remedies. I tried baths. I tried white noise, which that I still do use white noise, but it doesn't help me fall asleep. So what I changed in my morning routine, in order to wake up, I had like 10 alarms. Every few minutes, a new alarm went off, and every few months, I would change. I had an app that was like loud, annoying alarms. And every few months, I would have to switch to a new loud, annoying alarm, and it would go off every few minutes for an entire hour. There was at least 8 alarms set. And when I decided to reevaluate my sleep after many, many years of terrible sleep, I looked at the morning. Waking up with so many alarms, a whole hour of restless sleep, my last hour of sleep, was miserable. I was waking up to something shrieking at me repeatedly for an hour. That woke me up in a terrible mood, so I decided I wasn't doing that anymore. But if I wasn't going to have a million alarms in the morning, what I did need to have was the discipline to get up when my alarm first sounded. Because I didn't quite trust myself just yet, I set 2 alarms, 5 minutes apart. And I made the rule for myself that when I hear that alarm, I get up. My eyes open, and then I get up. Period. At first, I set the alarm to be like noon. I was sleeping till very, very late in the day because I would take so long to fall asleep. And if I didn't have work, I would just sleep half the day away. What I decided was I was going to set a time to wake up. And no matter what time I fell asleep or how well or poorly I slept, I had to get up at this set time, period. No debate. So that took a lot of self-discipline. I originally set my alarm, I think it was for like noon, because I decided I at least should be awake at noon. And eventually I started shifting the time to an earlier time, and now I wake up at 8:30 every day. Actually, correction. I have my alarm set for 8:30 and I have one set for 8:40 just in case. For the last several months now, probably the better part of a year, I don't know that I've even heard my alarm anymore because I now wake up typically around 7:45, 8 o'clock. Before my alarm ever sounds, I'm already awake, and I go to sleep without much problem at midnight. So I am getting easily 8 to 8.5 hours of sleep every single night. And the big change was I wake up at the first sound of my alarm. And it does not matter how late I went to bed, how sick I am, anything going on, I wake up at that time. I have animals I need to care for. I have things I need to do. I have to wake up at that time every single day. And I follow that. It was really, really hard to acclimate to that because I love sleeping in. It's one of my favorite things. Now that it's been well over a year since I have enacted this policy and I do wake up very easily with it, I have allowed myself to sleep in on occasion. And what happens is sometimes I sleep all the way till 9 o'clock. But most of the time I still wake up at 8 o'clock every single day. And I go to bed at midnight every single day. The result of this improved sleep is that I feel so much more rested and more capable of handling things in life. It is really, really hard to function in life when you're running on empty, when you have no energy because you haven't got any sleep. And I know so many people who struggle with insomnia. I dealt with this since I was 18 years old. I am now in my 40s and I just figured out all I had to do was wake up at the same time every single day. And once I woke up at that same time every day, I found that I was tired earlier. And I found that falling asleep was so much easier. I do sometimes still read a book before bed, and I do like to have a glass of milk before I go to bed. But those are things I've done for years, and that never helped my sleep. So that was the thing that helped me. Maybe it'll help you. Sweet dreams and better sleep.